welcome to Teacher Talk.
Are you going to do it just like that?
Just like Australian like that a little bit.
Welcome.
No, I'm joking. Hi, welcome to Teacher Talks.
Hi, welcome to Teacher Talks.
Ready? Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna get all nervous now.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah, it's alright. Welcome to Teacher Talks.
Hi, and welcome to Teacher Talks. Was that too over the top?
This is Teacher Talks. My name's Alex Roberts. I'm a history teacher.
Do you not want to sound a little bit more enthusiastic? Like,
Okay, restart then, restart. Nah, it's got to come naturally, you've got to have the music. Here we go with a 1, 2, 3.
How do you build good relationships in the classroom? That's a good one. So I think for me, I don't know about you, Tash, but for me it's all about sort of building trust.
Yeah, definitely.
First of all, so getting to know students on a personal level, gaining a bit of an understanding about their likes, their dislikes, their hobbies, what kind of person they are, and then taking it from there, really.
This is probably the favourite part of my job. So I love getting to know new people and I like learning about them.
relationships for me are the most important thing to have in my classroom. This is why I went into teaching, is to build relationships with young people, especially young people who may not have as many positive relationships with adults outside of school. And so for me, it's, again, just as I said before, showing that respect, showing that you care.
Even if you can make a reference to their favourite football team,
Yeah.
and like weave that into your teaching, or you can ask them how their weekend's been or something like that, then I think that helps them to trust you.
And take the time to listen to what they have to say and just even ask them, how are you? How's your weekend? Just making them feel like a human and making them feel like they're individual. I know we get a lot of students that come in and out of our classroom, and sometimes certain kids get missed because they may not be the naughty one or the loud one that you kind of have to focus your attention on because, you know, for them not to destroy your classroom. But it's those quiet ones that you try to, you know, see how they're doing.
It's also about you understanding your classroom. Like, I am very meticulous about understanding individual students. I am a bit of a people person. I enjoy analysing people, which is maybe a bit manipulative, but you take that as you like. Never know, might be working for the US government one day. So I feel like I know each individual and how they would react and how I need to talk to them. And it's about being meticulous in understanding your classroom. And after week 1, of course you're not going to have a fantastic understanding, you're not going to have a meticulous perspective on each individual student, but work at it. Go, okay, so John, when I talk to John like this, he responds better. But however, when I talk to Lucy like this, she gets all shy and timid and those sorts of things.
And I always try to do something sort of fun every lesson, just to get to know my students and for them to get to know me. So whether it's like a game or a bit of a question time, or I put on the board a current affair and we all discuss it and can share our views and opinions.
If you try to put on this facade for the students that, number one, they see right through you and they don't want to learn and they don't want to kind of build a relationship with you, but why would they?
You have good relationships, they want to work for you. And I've had times where I had some naughty classes, let's not say naughty, lively classes, and they've really annoyed me, and I will get mad, and they'll have times next day where they'll come and say, Miss, really sorry for like that, or leave me notes saying, I'm really going to try harder, I can't promise you that I'm going to improve overnight, but I'm really going to try it. And it's those little things where you're like, because we have a good relationship, you want to try to do well for me the same way I want you to do well. So yeah, I think relationships is definitely something that is so important, and yeah, so I do it by listening, showing you care, and just making them feel like an individual.
I always make an effort in the morning to say good morning to whoever I walk past. It takes me ages to get to my classroom, but I do it every morning. And I think the first time I do it to students, they're a bit like, why is this strange lady talking to me? But by the end of the week, I don't even have to open my mouth and they're saying good morning first, which I think is a really nice, positive way to start the day. And I think I kind of treat my students and people generally how I'd like to be treated. So I think it's about mutual respect. And that tends to work out pretty well for me.
Respect. Respect is fundamentally important to me, but I would argue it's a fundamental aspect of any successful classroom.
I think just be yourself. Like, I've got a really big, happy, smiley personality, and I used to think that that was a really bad thing.
So a good way to develop good relationships in the classroom is to just be yourself. Just be upfront and honest with them, be nice to them, but also just maintain those boundaries with them. So don't be their friend. Be cool, but not their friend. It's hard. You'll get it, it's fine.
Personally, for me as well, I think it is about keeping it real and letting them see Miss Stewart for what she really is. Obviously, of course, you have to remain professional, but it's nice for them to see that I am a human, and I make that reference all the time. Ask any of my kids, I always say I am a human, you know. I
like to have things in my classroom that sort of tell my students something about me. So I might have some photos on my desk or on my wall. I will talk to my kids about what I did at the weekend. I'll tell them a little bit about my life, because I think it's really important that we understand that you're not just students and I'm not just a teacher. We're all people as well.
Or just like, you know, sharing some of your stories, as well as it's nice to hear about their weekends. They will ask me, and I'm quite honest with them, obviously, not telling them too much information.
Yeah.
But even things like, at first I was quite apprehensive when I had my daughter and they would ask me her name. But now I'm quite confident and okay with telling them her name, and they will ask about her, and it's actually quite genuine. But I do think being honest and keeping it real, for me, really does help build that relationship in my classroom.
And sometimes, I don't know, if I come into school and I'm not feeling great, I'll let my class know that, and I'll generally get a really lovely response. If I say to my class in the morning, I'm really sorry guys, I'm not feeling great today, so you're gonna have to bear with me a little bit, they do.
I say that to my students sometimes. I'll say to them, look, I'm absolutely knackered. I've had zero sleep. I went to the gym 2 or 3 times this week, and I played football last night. So apologies if I don't sound as enthusiastic as I normally do. And you know what? A lot of people don't give students this kind of credit. They are humans. They do understand emotions and feelings and these sorts of things. People just go, oh, they're young, they won't get it. They do get it. But if you tell them, they're far more likely to appreciate the fact that you're being honest with them, and they'll give you the sympathy. They'll say, okay, fine, sir.
And I make it very clear to them that if they're having a bad day or something has happened or there's something going on at home, if they just give me a heads up with that, I will give them a little bit of space and a little bit of time, and sort of, I won't put the spotlight on them, if you like, that lesson. And I think just that little bit of sort of common ground and understanding goes a long, long way.
You might be tired. Lots of my students will say to me, like, yeah, thanks for that, students, or they'll just go, sir, you look really tired. Even other members of staff may say to me that I look slightly dishevelled, but you know, these are the things you have to deal with day to day. Staff members dragging you down, not mentioning any names.
Sarcasm. Sarcasm is your friend. And I just find my students love it. They love the banter. They love kind of bouncing off of you. And I think as well, just not taking yourself too seriously. Because I think, because I teach secondary, teenagers don't respect that. Teenagers respect somebody who's just real, who's themselves, and who is willing to apologise if they're wrong, able to say, I don't know, I'll find out for you when they don't know the answer, and also, if you make a mistake, laugh about it.
Mistakes should be encouraged. So if someone makes a mistake, they make a fool of themselves, and I often say at the beginning of the year, I will make numerous mistakes this year. More often than not, I'm a history teacher, right? So a student will say to me, sir, when did so-and-so happen? What was the date? And I'll go, ask the person next to you. What will I do? Quickly move over to my computer, type it into Google, then come back over, did you find out? And they'll say, no. And I'll say, oh, did you know it was 1954? And they'll go, wow, sir, how did you know that? I go, well, you know, I do know some things.
Thank you for tuning in to Teacher Talks. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel.
So don't forget to
And do that like, subscribe thingy.
So like, share and subscribe. Everybody in the whole world, everyone you've ever met in your life, because this is the only revision and schooling and teaching preparation resource you're ever going to need, alright?
And you can also find Educate Minds, me, on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook.
Bye, goodbye everyone. This
be a really good ending. Don't put that in the ending.
I'm so put it in the end.